Howdy, Chris here, and welcome back to another episode of Garage Noise, where we teach you how to build your skill and increase your knowledge about paint and body repair. And today, we're going to be talking about paint guns and paint gun settings, and how to get the best results out of those settings. I wanted to share with you how to set up your paint gun properly because I've been having a lot of questions about dry spray and orange peel and how to correct that. So I wanted to explain how you can address that through your settings and how a few adjustments can really make a big difference in the finished product. The first thing we need to talk about is your spraying technique. That's going to directly affect your finished product. And if you don't have the proper technique, you're never going to get the finish that you're looking for, regardless of what settings you're using. So let's go over your spraying technique and get that ironed out. There's a few key things you want to remember when you're spraying your vehicle, especially when you're clear coating. You want to have the proper distance from the panel whenever you're spraying, and that's 4 to 6 inches. You want to overlap 70% on your passes. You want to have a consistent speed when you're spraying and a consistent distance from the panel at all times. Now, if I have my spray gun here and my fan pattern edge is right here, so my fan pattern is coming out and the edge of my fan pattern is right here and my panel is right next to it. You want to have this gun parallel. Imagine 2 parallel lines. You want to keep that parallel at all times when you're spraying. Now, you're not going to be able to make it perfect. It's not going to be perfectly parallel at all times, but when you're going around corners, you want to keep that same distance around that panel. So if you're going around a bumper, you want to continue to have that same distance around that panel. All of those little things affect how your clear coat lays down and how your paint lays down. Now let's talk about some guidelines for your paint gun settings. Let's talk about your paint gun in general. This is your paint gun. This right here at the bottom of your paint gun, typically, most of them have this as an air pressure gauge. You want this opened up all the way because typically you're gonna have a regulator on this gun that's gonna regulate your air pressure. Typically on most guns, this bottom one right here is your volume control, okay? So all the way in is closed, and we want to have this set when you're just starting out to 2.5 to 3 turns out. That's what I use. Typically I spray with 3 turns out on my volume. This gives you enough volume to make adjustments as you need it. So if you find you need more volume, you can turn it up or down. Now this top one here is your fan pattern. That's going to control how narrow your fan pattern is or how wide. I spray with that wide open, and typically that's a good setting to start with. So those are your gun settings. Now you can make adjustments as you're spraying. I've had a lot of questions about dry spray. Why do I get dry spray? What happens when you're getting dry spray when you're spraying clear coat is that you're atomizing your clear coat too much. So you've got too much air pressure for the volume of material that's coming out of the gun. Your air pressure and your volume work hand in hand, directly related to each other to make that glass-like finish, or to create a glass-like finish. So if you're getting dry spray, you have too much air pressure. So what you need to do is back down your air pressure and bump up your volume just a little bit. This is gonna help you get more material coming out of the gun and a better finish. Now, if you're getting too much orange peel, the opposite is true. You've got too much volume coming out of your gun and not enough air pressure to atomize that clear coat and break it down so it's laying flat. That creates orange peel. I hope you get that and you understand it. If you have any questions, leave me a comment down below. Okay, so now let's talk about what paint gun is right for you in your situation. Let's just take a look at these guns here. Okay, so we have a variety of different guns here. And I have different categories. I put them in about 4 different categories. We have a really inexpensive gun. These are guns you would find at Harbor Freight or just really inexpensive, cheap guns. This is a touch-up gun from Harbor Freight. It's very inexpensive. It's not going to be something that's going to last you a real long time. It does come in handy in certain situations, and it might be perfect for what you're looking for. If you're someone that's doing just one repair on their bumper, you don't plan on doing a lot of painting, you want to get a repair done, you could get an inexpensive paint gun like this touch-up gun, and it might work perfectly. Now, the benefit to these touch-up guns is they don't consume a lot of air pressure. So a lot of people doing work at home have smaller compressors that don't produce a lot of air pressure. Now, this is not going to give you a big fan pattern. It's going to take longer to paint, but it will get the job done with less air pressure. So that situation, this gun might be right for you. Now, if you're someone who wants to start painting a little bit more, kind of as a hobby, you don't want to invest a ton of money in paint guns. You don't want to spend $500 to $1,000. I have what I call the budget line of guns, and these are a couple examples here. Both these guns are made by Astro Pneumatic. This is the EuroPro EVO 13, and this is the EuroPro HE. Both of these guns are really good guns. They're quality guns that are built really well. They've got a really simple design, but they produce a really nice finish. And I've painted extensively with both these guns. This gun here, I painted an entire truck with, and I have video on that, and it just turned out beautifully. I really do like how these guns perform, and they're priced really well at just over $100. Now, if you wanted to step up from that and you're looking to pursue, painting or auto body as a career, you want to do some more builds, you plan on painting a lot, you want a gun that's going to grow with you as you grow as a painter, then this section here is the sweet spot, I believe. And this is between $200 to $400 for a paint gun. This is a really good professional quality gun that's going to give you a reliable finish. It's going to last you a long time, and you're not going to break the bank buying one of these guns. So let's talk about these. This is the Sagola 3300 GTO. This is a phenomenal gun. This gun runs just over a couple $100. Beautiful atomization, and it has a huge fan pattern. Is a really good value for this gun. I believe this gun is easily worth $400. I feel it just performs really well. This is a new gun to me that I just purchased, and this runs just over $200. This is an Iwata Kawami 4. Iwata makes fantastic guns, have for many, many years. Now this is their kind of budget line of gun, just over a couple $100. Iwata's always performed beautifully, and what I love about Iwata paint guns is they atomize the clear coat beautifully. They have a real fine atomization of their clear coats. Their guns just atomize paint and clear beautifully. So this might be another option for you, and I don't have a review on this gun yet, but I have used it and it performs really well. I do have reviews of these guns here other than the Iwata, and you can check out those reviews. I'll leave some links at the end. Now this gun here is a 3M performance gun. This gun is fantastic, and it's a little bit different than these conventional guns. It's a little bit different than the conventional guns because it's a plastic composite gun. This is a gun that's very versatile. You can use it for paints, for sealers, for primers, for clear coats, and it's going to produce a nice finish because you have different size tips for different materials. If you're using a really thick primer, you can go up to a 2.0 tip or a 1.8 tip and use that for a primer. And it's very easy to clean. That's the other benefit about this gun. It's a very easy gun to clean. You don't have to break it down every time because the only thing you have to clean is this tip and the needle. Very versatile in that way. Now this gun runs a little bit more. I think this gun is selling right now for about $350, right around there. But it comes with a PPS system, which is the cups, and it comes with some other things. So it is a pretty good value. And you can do a lot with this gun. I think this gun is perfect for a DIYer who's doing something at home, who wants a professional finish but doesn't want to buy 10 guns. It's like 4 or 5 different guns in one because of the exchangeable tips. Now the last category is something I don't really get into, and that's between $5,000 and $1,000. And as a DIYer, I don't think it's going to benefit you to go out and spend $700 on a gun. Start out here in this range and work your way up. If you want to go ahead and spend that extra money to get a really elite paint gun, then go ahead and do it. But I want to tell you, from this category, which is the $500 to $1,000 range and the $200 to $400 range, there's not a significant difference in the quality of the finish once you know how to paint. So for that reason, I don't get into spending that kind of money on a paint gun. Just me, it's just how I'm built. I want the best value for my money, and I feel like it's right here, middle of the road range from $200 to $400. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And don't forget to like this video and say howdy down in the comments below. And if you want to help support the channel, you can check out my links down in the description. And if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. I've got a bunch of how-to videos on paint and body repair to help you build your skill and increase your knowledge. I appreciate each and every one of you watching. We'll see you next time on Garage Noise.